Hello and welcome back to another one of our weekly podcasts. I'm still Jack Revis and I'm joined again this week by Kym Ritchie. We're also joined by Andrew Revis, whom as you should know. We also have a special guest this week, is Hannah from Chaser. So Hannah, if you want to quickly introduce yourself for us.
Cool, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I'm Success Manager at Chaser. I've been at Chaser about 18 months and we're an automated cloud credit control software. So we essentially help businesses get paid quicker.
Perfect, cool. So that fits in this week because we're going to be talking about cash flow for businesses. So companies, self-employed, everything like that. So obviously at the moment, cash flow is taking quite a big hit for a lot of businesses. So we're just going to go through a few little things that we've found and what we want to talk about really. So we get straight into it. So the first thing I want to talk about really just is how do you guys think that coronavirus or COVID-19 has affected businesses' cash flow? Obviously, it's quite a big, easy question, that one. But so Kym, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think it's more of a worry for people rather than, I don't think they're looking at what cash they've got. They're just worrying, thinking we're going to have no money coming in, but we've got all our money going out, all their expenses are as per normal. So I think a lot of people have been trying to hold back on paying certain things, which I think is going to catch up with them in the long run.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Andrew, I think.
I think it really depends on the nature of the business. Whenever anything like this happens, you're always going to get winners and losers. We've got winners. Look at our courier drivers, how much work they're doing now. They've got so much more work than they have before. And then you look at the other extreme, you've got your losers, you've got the people in the retail trade, pubs, restaurants, they're being decimated. Builders not getting out to do the work. So, I think there's always a downside and an upside to these things.
Yeah, definitely. Any thoughts, Hannah?
Yeah, just to echo what you were saying, Andrew. So we've essentially kind of seen three different types of businesses and how they've been affected by cash flow. So the first of those that actually been largely unaffected. So like you're saying, Andrew, have actually kind of done pretty well, and businesses is going as normal, maybe even booming. Then there are those that have seen their cash flow constrained. So it could be marketing, recruitment agencies, the number of jobs available is obviously lower, but there are still jobs, they've still got work. And then there are those that have seen their cash flow, I guess, like frozen. And so those that events industry, sports industry, who they're not making any new sales, they don't have they're not getting the same cash flow as they did before. So that's kind of how we've seen it. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can echo all of those thoughts there. Like we've definitely seen a few people like just have no income anymore. It's just a complete stop. So they're probably the ones that are getting the most worried about their business because they've got zero income coming in. But as you say, there's a good few businesses that are still going. They're still like trickling along, or they have like booms. Like for example, IT, they've definitely done well out of this. They've done well out of us as a company, that's for sure. So like we've implemented like a new phone system, new this, new that. So they're doing fine. They can all easily work remotely because they've already set up for themselves. So they're definitely one sector I think are going to do really well out of this. But yeah, definitely I think that's pretty much the same really everything that you guys have said. But perfect. So moving on from that, so what about the clients themselves? Have you had any like conversation with them? Have any of them spoke to you about cash flow? Like what are they like specifically saying to you? Is like, if we actually said anything? Do you want to start with you, Hannah?
Yeah, sure. So obviously it's definitely a concern, and I think there's a few different things I've been saying that I've heard, but they're all in a very similar vein. So firstly, just trying to make sense of the immediate support that's available, and then from our side, I think that with credit control in mind, what I think a lot of businesses have been struggling with is balancing the need to get paid, which is obviously now more important now than ever before, with the concern over feeling insensitive by asking people for payments, and considering the economic environment, and there's also an assumption that they won't get paid too, because they think that now is not a good time for chasing invoices, that their debt and receivables, they can't do anything about it because no one's going to be able to pay them. But actually that isn't the case. And obviously, as I said before, as authors have said, it's really true that businesses have been, and some businesses have been hugely affected, but there are those that haven't and therefore can pay you. So I think what a lot of businesses are struggling with is the idea of sounding or seeming aggressive by chasing people for payment. But at the end of the day, that's work that's been done, that's work, that's therefore money that is owed, which you have a right to ask for. So I think it's just like the balance between those different elements is something that I am hearing quite a lot of people sort of struggle with.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Andrew, I think so.
Well, I think with those that aren't working at all, I think they're worried that, what's going to happen? How long will this go on for? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? How long can they survive with what they've got, that income that they've already brought in? Are they going to survive, or are those businesses going to go out of business? We could find, this could go on for months, and it's going to, the effect on the economy is going to be devastating.
Yeah, definitely. Kym, you want to think? Or?
I think, like, I've got one particular client's got 2 restaurants. One, they're opening back up to try and do delivery and takeaway. The other one, they're keeping closed. They have got grants in, but one of them, it doesn't even cover the rent, so they just haven't got the money. Obviously, they're really worried about that. They're worried about paying their wages. Just the money's going out quicker than it's coming in, and there's the same amount is going out, but not the same amount coming in.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, like you say, it's okay at this minute, but the longer it goes on, and even when say they open the restaurants in another month, I don't think it's just going to go back to how it was before. I mean, I don't think I'll be jumping to go to a restaurant straight away and things like that. So it's going to take a lot to pick up. So, but their expenses will still be there then.
Yeah, definitely. It's a tough one. I've spoken to a few clients, and when I started, first of all, talking to clients about the cash flow, and I think they all seem to have, I think I've said this a lot, they all had blinkers on. They were just looking right now, like head down, we've got nothing coming in, what we're doing this. But then start having a conversation with them and say, right, well, look past this, what can you do to sort of go past all this? And I'd say a lot of them then sort of, perked up a bit about it rather than worry about, we've got no money coming in, what we're going to do. That's when we start talking, about what actually we should be thinking about the future. And to echo a point that you said, Hannah, about like the credit control and chasing and getting money in for services you're doing. This is something that we've obviously been talking about quite a bit, because we're in a weird situation. Obviously, we're trying to help our clients get through this, but at the same time, we still need to be paid to help those clients without them like going under and all this sort of stuff. So we were in that situation of what we're going to do. So we've done a lot of like free work, which we're still doing, but obviously there's only so far. If this goes on for months and months, we've then got to look at that like internally for us. But at the same time, as we're there to try and advise our clients about what's going on and try and keep them from going under themselves, and trying to say, right, here's another bill for our work whilst you've got no income. So it's a difficult sort of situation, that one. But I think there's a fine balance, I guess, in there. You can't get everything for free, unfortunately.
It goes back to the point Hannah made earlier on, isn't it?
Yeah.
About, you're entitled to that money because you have done the work. It's very difficult to approach them for it. So we have to look at it sort of case by case.
Yeah,
definitely. And Chase have produced some templates, I think, haven't they, Hannah? About
exactly. There are 8 templates that we made, which are free, so anyone can download these, and they have been created with COVID-19 in mind. So the text and the content has that as its focus, and they're ones that you can just implement in your credit control process really easily.
As well. I'll put a link to them down below in the description, so anyone can go and check them out. Okay, that's good thoughts there. So with that then, so it moves on nicely actually. So what advice are you currently given to businesses then about cash flow, and like what you actually saying to them after they're talking to you? We'll start to touch on it a little bit, but like more detail. But like Kym,
there's been a couple who have said about going for the loan, which I don't think. Sorry, can you get the door? Sorry. There's been a few where I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so they've wanted to go for the loan, but I think maybe some people have thought, oh, free loan, and it's kind of advising them, that loan is going to need paid back, and the position you're in now, are you going to be in a position to pay that back in a few months or even in a year? So it's trying to not to get themselves into more debt or anything like that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. That's right. Andrew?
Well, I think now with what's going on, it's more important than ever that clients look at their procedures they've got in place to control their cash flow. It's no good. You can't, in the days like this, you can't live day by day and expect everything to be hunky-dory. You've got to be looking at it, put it down, even if you use a spreadsheet or the apps that we were providing. I think it's very important they do that and look at the trends that are going to go forward in the next few months. At least then they've got a better idea of where they're going to be 3 months down the line.
Yeah, definitely. Hannah, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to echo Andrew's point. So I'd really advise businesses to do a thorough audit of their sales, the past ones that are still kind of in process, because there may well be situations where you're underestimating your cash flow because you applied discounts incorrectly. There may well be some sales that you haven't actually, customers you haven't chased when you should have done, or charged, when you should have done, and that's then cash that you haven't accounted for, which obviously is going to be needed. And also I think now is more than ever is a time to just improve the rigor of credit control processes, but not just credit control, all processes in general, like Andrew was saying, but just making sure you've got accurate information, so you know exactly who your customers are, how much they owe you, whether the right person or people to contact, and look at customer specific payment performance. Have they exceeded credit limits in the past? Have they paid in a timely manner in the past? Because that kind of information is going to inform how you can, the effectiveness of your credit control, which, as we said before, is absolutely so crucial. And final piece of advice would be to invoice ASAP and accurately. I know in the past a lot of businesses would do it in bulk because obviously it saves time, whereas now the sooner you get the invoice out, the sooner you can be paid, and any errors on invoices or in the billing process in general are going to potentially cause quite costly delays to payment, which we obviously don't want. So yeah, just be strict about processes, I would say.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so you guys pretty much covered it all, really. There's not much for me to add to that, but except just look at your cash flow, look forwards, and try and, as I said before, don't just look at now and get stuck in that rut. Is what the main thing I've been saying to people. I've been talking to them, and echo what you were saying, Kym, about the loans. We can talk more about that in a minute. But I did have some of them instantly just, so go, right, yeah, cool, I'll try and get that loan. Just like I just said, don't do that. But then another one as well, the cash flow. We had a couple of clients phone up and say, oh, I want to close down, I want to shut. Like, it was just instant. That was like almost week 2. It was like, well, hang on, don't be so hasty, I think, is in your decision making. Take this time to reflect. That's basically what you all said. But so just to make sure you look at what's going on at the moment, I think, and make your best decisions and talk to us. I think don't be scared to reach out. This is what we're there for. So I know a lot of our clients do know that anyway. But yeah, so just reach out and ask us, and because we can all help. So it's pretty simple. But okay, so we pretty much covered this, but what approach then do you think businesses should take during COVID-19 to cash flow management? We've pretty much covered this, but is there anything else anybody want to add to that?
Yeah, I'd like to say that I think in times like this, the role of sales accountants and advisors is more important than ever. And like we said before, the first place they should come to is us, because that's what we're here for. We have the in-depth knowledge to assist our clients and hopefully get as many of them over the line as possible.
Okay.
Rather than read it on Facebook, what help there is.
Yes, it's not always advisable.
Some of the comments on, I don't know, the government posts and things like that are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, come to us and ask us. If we don't know the answer, we can certainly get the answer.
Definitely. Hannah, you got anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll keep it specific to credit control. But I think my biggest piece of kind of advice in terms of how the approach can change is adapt essentially. So what can you do? What changes can you make that can help? So can you look at introducing repayment plans for those businesses that have had their cash flow hugely affected, so those customers of yours? Can you extend payment terms, because that way you're doing things like that is going to show your customers that you are obviously aware of the situation, are being flexible and trying to help them too, while also still giving you peace of mind, because it's very stressful not knowing when you'll next be paid. So if you can adapt some of the things that you're doing to help with that, then that will give you peace of mind, which is obviously really important. And last thing that you could look at doing as well is just tightening up your kind of internal communications, so keeping them all in one place, because that way everyone's going to have access to that comms and be armed with the information they need to make any cash flow management decisions.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing I wanted to touch on was as soon as directors could be furloughed, a lot of our directors said, I want to do that. But that's when, with the approach to all this cash flow, it's more of a business bit as well, is don't just stop, echoing what you guys saying, just actually look at everything. Don't think, right, cool, I can furlough myself, I'm going to claim that money back. Use this time to look at your business, look at your cash flow management, put in those procedures for the future that will help now and then continuing, basically. So I think that's definitely a good way to look at it, but I think we've pretty much covered all that. Okay, so the last question I had was, so what help is there available for businesses like in cash flow? Obviously there's grants and everything, but is there anything in particular to cash flow management that anyone could think of? Anyone got
so I thought I'd kind of with this one talk about something that we're doing at Chase, because I know lots of different apps are doing different things that offer, and you guys mentioned that you're doing free work, so we're doing free things too. So what we're doing at Chaser, which is completely free and available for your clients, any businesses that need some help, is we're offering free invoice coaching and also free invoice chasing as an emergency response to COVID-19. So if you are, particularly for those businesses that are time and resource poor at the moment, and just struggling, maybe a bit overwhelmed with lots of different things, and just want to get that weight off their shoulders, then we have launched this in response, which, as I said, is free and is available to everyone. So if that's something that you are interested in, then we've just email our team, cri@chasehq.com, and then we can help you with that. So that's some of the things that we're doing to help businesses.
Okay, brilliant. Have you guys got anything to that question?
Well, just really, I mean, the help that's available is obviously from a salesman. We can advise on grants, furloughing, and loans, whether it's applicable to go for a loan or not. Yeah,
so with with the business cash flow, so Kym mentioned about the loans. There is lots of loans, there's lots of different loans. We're partnered with a few brokers and stuff, so we can actually talk to people that know exactly how these loans are going to work. Yesterday, a new loan was announced as well, the coronavirus bounce back loan. So that is a new loan from, I think it was like $2,000 up to $50,000. So I think more of our clients will fall into that, because with the coronavirus business interruption loan, a few of them aren't eligible for that for various reasons. And the criteria for that one is actually quite hard to do, and there's a lot of work to try and get one of them. Obviously there's standard loans and such, but we can look at them, like interest rates and all that. So I've been looking at that for a few clients. The other thing is we produced a cash flow spreadsheet that we sent out recently. I'll put a link to it as well into the description. Really basic, but anyone can use it. To be honest, anybody could have put it together. It's a nice basic one, but it's just a quick and easy way, so you can just see your month to month of what your cash flow is. So there's a few things like that we're doing as well. Other things as well, we've got our partners. So we're partnered with Chaser, so we can help you with Chaser. And for that, we were trying to help people with credit control. We've got a few people on there. So we're trying to help with that, give free trials and all that. But obviously, Chaser doing their own thing as well. So definitely look at that, because it's a great bit of software. Other people as well, we've partnered with like Fluidly. So we are giving all of our clients on QuickBooks, we can give them free access to Fluidly, which will give them a 3-month cash flow forecast, which is quite a good thing. I do like Fluidly. So basically get in touch with us, and then we can get that set up for you if you're on QuickBooks. But obviously you need to have up-to-date information in QuickBooks, so otherwise it don't really about that much, but it will give you that 3-month forecast, which is quite good as well. Otherwise, I don't think there's much else to go over on that bit. But, okay. Is anything anybody else wanted to bring up today, or I think we've covered pretty much?
Just really, I was just thinking about a few clients in particular, saying about getting the money in that they're owed. If it's not that kind of business where the money is sales and everything is done on the day, what's their other option there?
So yeah, I guess so on that one. So are you talking more like restaurants sort of?
Yeah.
Or like, okay. Well, I guess they've got the grants if they are eligible for the grants. But the other real thing they can look at is the loans. Unfortunately, there's not a lot else at the moment. Obviously, if you haven't got any sales, or talk to us and try and think, right, how can you sell your products? So we talked the other day, Kym, about one of your other clients who's in retail, who's now taking this opportunity to move online and start selling products online, because they used to go out to markets and stuff and sell there, but now move online and actually sell to people, because people are still buying. People haven't stopped buying. To be honest, a lot of people may have more disposable income at the moment because they're not going to the pub, for example. I know I've saved a lot of money from not going to the pub, so I don't know about anybody else. So there's that money that you can spend elsewhere. So people are buying. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm staring right now. We went to Booker's the other day, and me and my mate, we bought 48 cream eggs. I probably never think about buying 48 cream eggs before, but you know, why not? It's a bit of disposable income there. So people are buying stuff. So I think that's definitely something not to be scared of, to try and move your business, try and approach people and try and still sell to them. Or Facebook, Twitter, any of these places you can sell, like actually not as such Twitter, but like Facebook marketplaces, all those sort of things, Amazon. Even a store on your website, it's quite easy to set up websites and so on. So that's definitely something.
I had an email today actually from a company that I'd bought something from before, and it said about they're doing this SOS, Save Our, and then it's part of the brand, and it was basically saying about buy a voucher that gives you buy one get one free. So you just pay for one and you get two, but not until November. So you can still buy one pair now, but if you buy that voucher, but you can't redeem it to November. So it's obviously giving them a bit of cash now for the long run.
I think it's like an opportunity to get creative. There's in my local area, so I'm in East Yorkshire at the moment, and I think this is happening up and down the country. Local fish markets are all closed, so fishermen are now offering delivery of fresh catches, so you can now buy fresh fish, whereas before you like probably the freshest fish you'll ever get, and they've taken like their business online essentially, and doing that when they've never, that's pretty unheard of. So there's loads of different things that you can do. I think a lot of businesses actually are offering similar to what you were saying, Kym. You can buy a gift card now, so if your favorite restaurant is closed and you can't go there, then you can still support them by buying a gift card. So if a business is in the restaurant industry, then you can consider doing something like that too. But there's a lot of things you can do. It's just I guess think of it in a new light. It's an opportunity to get creative and do something different.
Definitely. Perfect. Okay, well, I think we covered some quite good points here today, so thank you, Hannah, for joining us this week. Really appreciate that.
That's how I meet.
That's right. So I think that's everything then. So well, thank you again for watching our podcast. Make sure, I don't know, what is it you like? Was it Kym you said the other day? Subscribe and hit that notification button. There you go, that was it. And make sure you also follow us on social media and all that, because we are posting a lot of updates on there about the coronavirus and everything. I'll link all those stuff I said in the description. I'll link over to Chaser as well, and Hannah's Twitter, so you can go check her out over there. Okay, perfect then. And we will see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.